This is a significant release from Omega. And I love innovation. I love brands pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So I'm excited about this watch. This is the Speedmaster Super Racing. And this is Omega's first watch that uses their new patent-pending Spirate system. And here's a picture of what Spirate is. Spirate is a spiral balance that allows for a fine-tuning mechanism, which is pictured here, that makes ultra-precise adjustments to the accuracy. The Spirate system allows Omega to exceed the Meta's accuracy spec, and that's already impressive at 0 to plus 5 seconds per day. So yes, this is a certified master chronometer, but it's now spec'd to 0 to plus 2 seconds per day. And I know that's only a 3-second improvement, but even then, that's a significant jump. We are talking near spot-on levels of accuracy in a mechanical watch. And I think that's an exciting innovation. I'm happy to see it here. This is the tightest accuracy tolerance that I'm aware of in a mass-produced luxury brand. This exceeds Rolex's superlative chronometer certification, and that delivers a -2 to +2 seconds acceptable deviation rate. The accuracy window with Spirate is twice as tight. And I want to add, it's never supposed to run slow. It's 0 to +2, meaning when you go to adjust the time down the road, you will only need to pull the crown out, hack the balance to allow for a proper synchronization to a reference time. A slow-running watch always needs to be sped up to the next reference minute, and then you can synchronize it. It's a small thing. It's a time save. It might be insignificant to the average consumer, but to us watch collectors, this is kind of a big deal. So I like to see that. I also want to thank Exquisite Timepieces. Exquisite is an official AD for Omega, along with 60 other luxury brands. They're a great place to buy a new watch from. I've worked with this family-owned store for years in both featuring watches on YouTube and also making my own purchases from. So if you're looking into any Omega, definitely reach out. Links are below. Now, I look at this Speedmaster Super Racing, and it's not just the impressive Spirate system that makes this watch a little different, a little special. There are a couple other interesting elements at play, and the first one is the honeycomb pattern. Now, Omega has placed an open honeycomb layer over a base dial. That base level is subtle, it's reflective, it is deep black, and it creates a nice layer of depth and visual interest. I like what they've done. I think this is beautiful, and you don't often see this pattern done in a watch. Now, Omega is also paying homage to an Aquaterra they released back in late 2013. That watch, which I've pictured here, is their first sport watch that was tested and anti-magnetic to, at the time, an unheard of threshold, a ridiculous threshold of 15,000 Gauss. So this Super Racing, it has the similar bumblebee color layout, but the sub-seconds on the dial has the striped hand, just like the striped hand of that technically significant Aquaterra that again was released in late 2013. So the final Easter egg is this slightly different racing font that is only placed on the 10 digit on the date wheel. All of the other days have Omega's normal font, but the 10th is stylized and it matches the Super Racing font on the dial. And this is just celebrating the 10th anniversary of that anti-magnetic Aquaterra that really set the stage for Omega's future sport releases. And just considering that, it feels like Omega wants to remind us that from time to time, they want to push the boundaries of what's possible on a production sport watch. That Aquaterra was just the beginning of 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic watches, and that's found on every modern Meta-certified Omega now. And I would wager that Spirate will follow a similar pattern. Eventually, I think that's going to be placed in every modern Omega. And I don't have any insider information. I just think it's a reasonable guess, one that makes sense. This brand invested in R&D to create a new fine adjustment system. So now that they have the capability, I think it's time to capitalize on that investment. And I hope to see it. In fact, I hope to see the day in the not too distant future where every Omega model is anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss, accurate to 0 to +2 seconds per day with Spirate. And if the watch is crafted in steel, I hope it's made from their proprietary Omega steel, which I think is the best steel alloy on the market. And it's only available right now in select models like the Ultra Deep and the Ploprof. But let me know what you think. Is that a reasonable expectation or hope? Do you look forward to that? That aside, let's get back to this super racing. I like seeing several details on this watch. I like the checkered index track. I like the gradient color on the running or the chronograph seconds hand. I like the ceramic bezel insert with the yellow enamel index work. I like the deep sub-registers with that noticeable concentric stamping or texturing. I like this box-shaped sapphire crystal, and that shape is found both on the top crystal and the reverse on this case that shows off this beautiful automatic movement that has all of the tech specs we like. Outside of Spirate, it has the free sprung balance. It has the silicone hairspring. It has the column wheel. So it's nice to view it here. And I also like the fact that the ARC is very solid like most modern Omega. So I can view the details of the movement and the dial to a crisp degree of clarity. I also like the small comfort setting that's found on the bracelet's clasp. And instead of needing a tool to make the position change, it's a push button sliding system. And don't get me wrong, there is not much travel. It's just a small micro adjustment, but it's nice to not need a tool to make that change. Now this super racing comes in a nice black presentation box that's a little different from the lacquered wood style that most Omega Speedmasters come in. This one has a honeycomb pattern that ties into the dial, and inside the box is a complementary black and yellow NATO. And Omega makes very nice NATO straps. They actually used to provide extra straps on the previous generation Moonwatch, but they got away from that a few years ago. And so I think it's nice that they're kind of going back to that. And there's a little something extra for the consumer when they buy this watch. But those interested, they have to pay a pretty penny. This is not an entry-level luxury priced watch. The full retail price is $11,600. And that's a $2,000 premium over a standard racing Speedmaster with a bracelet, but obviously without Spirate, without the honeycomb dial, without the special box and the extra strap, etc. And let me know what you think about that. What do you think about the super racing release, especially this new Spirate system? Do you think the tech will make its way into all future Omega models? And would you like to see that happen? If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe for more content like this. I post independent watch videos every few days. Your support means a lot. And lastly, if you're looking for a great place to buy an Omega, consider my friends at Exquisite Timepieces. I've left my own sales associate's contact information below. Feel free to tell him you're a friend of Bruce's and he told you to reach out. Thanks.